Hello friend. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and if you are new then like, share, and subscribe my Marriage is one of the most important decisions a man will ever make. Not because of romance, excitement, or social pressure, but because the wrong partner can slowly and silently drain his peace, confidence, and sense of direction. Most men do not choose the wrong woman because they are weak, careless, or foolish. They choose wrong because they misunderstand female psychology and misread early signals. What feels harmless in the beginning often hides deeper patterns that only reveal themselves later. This video is not about attacking women or creating division. It is about awareness, clarity, and self-protection. Healthy relationships are built on understanding, not illusion. During the dating phase, many psychological behaviors appear small or manageable. They may even seem emotional, caring, or harmless at first. But after marriage, those same patterns can become emotionally exhausting and mentally destructive. Today, we will break down 5 specific types of women that men should never marry, not based on opinions, stereotypes, or personal bitterness, but based on repeated behavioral patterns and psychological realities. If even one of these descriptions feels familiar, this message is meant for you. Type 1. The I can fix her woman. Some women enter relationships emotionally unfinished. They are still carrying unresolved pain, avoiding accountability, and living without clear direction. A man notices her struggle and mistakes compassion for responsibility. He thinks, if I love her deeply enough, she will change. This belief is not love, it's a psychological trap. Marriage does not heal unresolved trauma. It doesn't soften emotional wounds or replace self-work. Instead, it brings hidden issues to the surface and magnifies them through daily life. When a man marries a woman he is trying to fix, the relationship dynamic shifts. He no longer gains a partner. He gains emotional responsibility. Over time, he becomes the stabilizer, the motivator, the emotional manager. She remains dependent on his effort, rather than accountable for her own growth. What begins as care slowly turns into exhaustion. Healthy relationships require 2 emotionally responsible adults, people who are already aware of their patterns, already doing the work, already moving forward. Not a rescuer and a project, not a caretaker and a constant crisis. The awareness rule is simple, but powerful. Never marry someone for who they might become one day. Marry them for who they already are today. Type 2. The emotionally unstable woman. Emotional intensity is often mistaken for passion. Strong reactions, loud emotions, and dramatic responses can look exciting at first, but they are not the same as emotional maturity. Intensity may feel powerful, yet it often hides a lack of emotional regulation. Some women struggle to manage their emotions in healthy ways. Small disagreements turn into emotional explosions. Silence is used as punishment. Anger becomes a tool for control rather than communication. Psychologically, this creates an unsafe emotional environment. A man slowly begins to monitor himself. He thinks before speaking, adjusts his tone, and carefully chooses his reactions, not out of respect or understanding, but out of fear of triggering another emotional episode. Over time, the relationship stops feeling like a partnership and starts feeling like a constant emotional negotiation. Peace becomes fragile, stability disappears. Marriage does not calm emotional instability. It does not teach emotional regulation or create patience. If a woman cannot manage her emotions before marriage, marriage will only expose and intensify the problem. The awareness rule is clear and essential. Choose emotional stability over emotional excitement. A calm, emotionally balanced partner will always create a safer and stronger relationship than intense emotions ever will. Type 3. The permanent victim. This woman is never wrong. In her mind, every failed relationship exists because someone else caused it. Every disagreement ends with her taking the role of the victim, no matter what actually happened. Psychologically, this pattern is extremely dangerous. Growth in any relationship depends on accountability, the ability to reflect, accept responsibility, and make changes. When accountability is missing, the same problems repeat again and again, often becoming more intense over time. Men who marry this type of woman slowly find themselves apologizing just to maintain peace. Not because they are guilty, but because confrontation feels pointless. Even when they have done nothing wrong, they take the blame to avoid emotional conflict. Over time, this dynamic erodes confidence. A man begins to question his own judgment. He becomes quieter, more cautious, and less expressive. The relationship stops feeling equal and starts feeling emotionally one-sided. A marriage without accountability cannot grow. It becomes a cycle of blame, guilt, and unresolved issues. The awareness rule is simple but crucial. Never marry someone who avoids responsibility. True growth requires ownership, the willingness to say, "This was my mistake, and I will do better." Type 4. The passive dreamer. Dreaming is healthy. Having goals, hopes, and visions for the future is a natural and important part of growth. But dreaming without effort is not ambition, it is avoidance. Some women speak confidently about success, plans, and big goals. They talk about the life they want, the future they imagine, and the achievements they expect. Yet their daily behavior shows no discipline, no consistency, and no real action. Words move forward, but effort stands still. Psychologically, this creates a deep imbalance in the relationship. The man slowly becomes the engine. He pushes, plans, and carries momentum. She becomes the passenger, present, but not contributing to movement. At first, this dynamic may seem manageable, but over time, it leads to quiet resentment. Energy is drained. Motivation fades. Burnout replaces excitement. Marriage is not sustained by intention alone. It requires movement from both sides, effort, responsibility, and shared direction. Two people building together create progress. One person carrying the future creates exhaustion. The awareness rule is clear and practical. Marry someone who builds with you, not someone who waits for results while you do the work. Type 5. The subtle controller. Control rarely appears in its full force at the beginning. It almost never starts aggressively. Instead, it begins softly, often disguised as care or concern. A woman may ask questions like, "Why do you need those friends?" Or say things like, "I'm just protecting you," or "I care. That's why I ask." On the surface, these words may seem harmless, even idling, but psychologically they are the first signs of control. Over time, this subtle control begins to affect a man's autonomy. Boundaries shrink without him noticing. Freedom gradually reduces. Decisions that once felt natural begin to feel restricted. Confidence, once solid, slowly fades as every choice is monitored, questioned, or guided. Love should expand a man's life, not confine it. It should inspire growth, not enforce limitations. It should build trust, not replace independence with surveillance. The awareness rule is simple but crucial. If control exists during dating, it will intensify after marriage. Marriage does not soften controlling behavior, it amplifies it. Recognizing these patterns early is essential for preserving freedom, confidence, and a healthy partnership. A man must never compromise autonomy for disguised care. Marriage is not just a milestone or a social achievement. It is a psychological partnership, a daily exchange of respect, effort, and emotional balance. The wrong woman doesn't destroy life dramatically or suddenly. She destroys it quietly, slowly, through stress, imbalance, and emotional exhaustion. Over time, peace fades, confidence erodes, and happiness diminishes without you even noticing. Before committing, a man should ask himself key questions. Does she bring peace or chaos? Is she accountable or defensive? Does she respect boundaries or test them? Is she growing alongside me, or am I carrying her? The truth is simple. Men don't marry potential. They marry patterns. Patterns repeat themselves, and they never lie. Awareness is essential. Choose wisely. Protect your future self by recognizing behavior before it becomes a lifelong trap.